Hi, it's me again. I want to talk about one of the more prominent conflicts that couples face when they're raising children, and it's this. They often fight about how to actually teach a child discipline. He comes from one sort of disciplinary dynamic growing up, and she comes from another. And then, of course, when they have to discipline their 2, 3, 4, 13, 14, 15 year old, they run into conflict with each other. So I'm going to give you a way out of that today. And this is what it's about. First thing I want you to do is ask yourself, do you want a more obedient child or do you want a well-disciplined child? And the reason I put that question out there like that is because those two things are actually quite different. So let's talk about the obedient child first, all right? The obedient child is the one who, when told what to do, does it. They don't ask questions, and they may or may not complain, but they know that if they don't do it, they're likely to piss off the parent. So what they learn is that if they do not obey, the consequence is an angry parent. What they don't learn is why what they did, if it's wrong, may have had an impact on them. What can they learn from the fact that they made a bad decision? They don't get to have that experience. The parents also, with the obedient child, have often told me in the office when we've talked about it that I just don't want my kid to make a mistake. Why not? That's how we learn. We learn from making mistakes. And the only reason that mistakes can't be made is if somebody gets mad. Now, of course, I don't mean when I say natural consequences are good teachers that we should let our children play in the street. That's dumb. No parent would do that, hopefully, because our job is to keep our kids safe. So the problem with the obedient children is that they don't learn critical thinking about the decision they made. And one of the things that happens is that they end up feeling less anxious, more anxious, less confident, and more likely to be afraid of making a mistake. They're really dependent on being told what to do. That's the obedient child. Now, the disciplined child. Let's talk about that character for a moment. How does a kid become well-disciplined? A kid becomes well-disciplined by being allowed to make mistakes. It's not that the mistake itself is a good thing. It's the consequences of the mistake that do the teaching, and they're allowed to learn from their mistakes. Parents walk them through the decision process they had, give them alternatives to think about. They brainstorm, what if you'd done this instead of that? What are the consequences possibly of doing this and this and this? And the child learns that there's a process of elimination for the different possibilities of making different decisions. Decision makers tend to be more independent, they tend to be more confident, and they tend to be less anxious. So discipline is an interesting term. We don't really discipline our children. We teach them how to become more disciplined themselves by teaching them how to be good decision makers. So, rather than the two of you fighting over who's right about how to parent, I have a solution for you. In addition to what I've told you here in this brief video today, go to loveandlogic.com. There'll be a link below this video that you can go to. They have really, really good parenting stuff. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying everything that they do is great, but a lot of what they do really, really works. I actually raised my kids with their stuff too, so I have a little bit of experience with it. So for now, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button in the right-hand corner, and I'll see you next time.